Republican Senator John Barrasso voted no yesterday. He is live with us right now from D.C. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, Allison.
Okay, so I know that you don't believe in raising taxes on anyone. Let me play, in that case, the other side for you, the Nancy Pelosi side. Basically, her argument is we've had these lower tax rates for the past 2 years and longer, and unemployment has climbed. So how does keeping things the same now with our taxes change anything?
Well, people need certainty. People need certainty to create jobs. And there's been so much uncertainty during the last 2 years with expensive mandates on health care, this whole cap and trade, I call it cap and tax legislation. So much money is sat on the sidelines. And we need to give the encouragement and the certainty to our job creators in this country, the small business owners. 70% of new jobs in this country, Allison, come from small businesses. So the more certainty we can provide, which is to not raise taxes on anyone during economic times like this, I believe the better. And you know, we have a rising chorus of Democrats who are saying the same thing. There was bipartisan opposition yesterday. The Democrats fell way short because a number of the Democrats voted with the Republicans yesterday in the Senate.
Yeah, you're right. About four of them did, one an independent. And, you know, Senator, it appears as if this is going to be a done deal now. That appears there is going to be some sort of compromise. A number of Republicans going on the record yesterday, in fact, saying they would support an extension of unemployment benefits in addition to an extension of the Bush tax cuts. The real question, and I want to help you, I want you to help us this morning advance this story. The real question this morning appears to be how far will the Bush tax cuts be extended? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? What can you tell us this morning?
Well, I know Republicans believe that the more certainty we can give to the job creators of this country, the better. So my preference would be the longer the better, and that's the way I think the American people are concerned about it. And I know the White House is very involved in this, but most people aren't worried about the White House. They're worried about their own house and their own lives. And when you see the unemployment rates in this country go up to 9.8%, like they did just this past week, that is telling you that the country is very, very concerned.
So you say you say longer, 3 years. Is some sort of a deal perhaps already worked out where 3 years appears to be what may be a done deal?
I'm not going to negotiate on TV today, but I will tell you that I'd like to see these extended permanently, as would many people who want to give that level of certainty. But I think the longer the better.
And yet, Senator, what we've also heard, that there are reports that corporations actually are now back to making a profit, yet they're not hiring more people because they've figured out that they can do it in a leaner, meaner way. In fact, they're stockpiling some money and sitting on it. Are you saying that if the tax cuts are extended indefinitely, 3 years or longer, the corporations will go back to beefing up their staffs?
Well, I believe that the more certainty we can provide, and the longer range that is, the better it's going to be. There are huge health care mandates, which are expensive and drags. There are huge additional expenses with Environmental Protection Agency rules and regulations, which are going to drive up energy costs. And I've opposed all of these sorts of things. I think that you look at what this administration has been pushing with unions and allowing or getting rid of the secret ballot. Businesses are concerned about those things. So when the president had a forum at the White House with business leaders and said, why aren't you hiring? There were 4 different things, those 3 I just mentioned, plus the tax rates. So the more certainty we can provide for the job creators of this country, the better. And the first thing we can do right now, immediately, is to make sure you don't raise taxes on anyone during these economic times. And I don't think we ought to drag this on to New Year's Day, because if we don't get this done quickly, everyone's tax rates are going up on New Year's Day, Allison.
Let me ask you the question no one really wants to talk about, which is how is this all going to get paid for? Unemployment benefits, extension of that, estimated at $78 billion for the extensions. The CBO saying to extend the Bush tax cuts, it'll have to come from somewhere, $700 billion to extend those numbers. So you add that up, nearly $800 billion. Where does this money come from?
Well, for people who are looking for work and who are on unemployment insurance right now, I support Scott Brown's approach, which is using unused stimulus money to pay for that. The other issue of the taxes, people in Washington act like it's their money. It's not. This is money that belongs to the American people. And I trust the American people to make the right decisions about how to spend, what to invest, what to save. Ultimately, it's not that we're taxed too little, it's that we as a nation spend too much. And what this election showed clearly all across the country with 63 new members of the House and 6 new members of the Senate is quit the spending. It's the spending problem that's killing us.
Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming, thanks so much for joining us this morning with your thoughts.
Thank you, Allison.